Hey, Bon.
Well, good afternoon, Jennifer Wilner. I'm here in sunny Ponte Vedra, Florida, and I understand things are not so sunny by you, huh?
No, they're not. Mother Nature is watering the lawn aggressively right now here in Edison, New Jersey.
Oh boy. All right. So what should we warn everybody about?
If I disappear, if this ends,
Suddenly, like before.
yeah, it might. It just might. So technology.
All right. Well, you know what? Everybody on the call understands the tech issues. We're all dealing with Zoom and Teams and internet connections. But that actually brings up an interesting point. Today, we're going to be talking about challenges in the workplace. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we're hearing, today we were like bouncing ideas back and forth about what issues I'm hearing and you're hearing as we're on these webinars, and we're on, yesterday we had our very first meeting of the Be the Ultimate Assistant on Demand class, and that was so cool. One of the things is that bandwidth, the internet connection, the strength of the signal. I have a feeling Robert is laughing at me right now because I don't dare enter into that many things technical. But this one I do understand that when we were both working at home, all of a sudden we contacted our local cable company, which is whoever is your internet provider, and you can see if you can increase the strength of the bandwidth, the speed, because that will make sure you don't get all pixelated and sound like you're underwater. And because that happens with us sometimes over Zoom, right, Jen?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that's just one of the many challenges. And then if there are, either one or two working people in the home plus kids on their devices. I was going to say teenagers, but it isn't always teenagers, right? It's just whoever is
like 2-year-olds playing with a phone.
It's whatever is using up the bandwidth. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live. This is we look forward to every Wednesday at 3:00 Eastern Time when we can welcome assistants and whoever would like to join us from all over the world. It's always fun. We'd love to know where you're from as you're coming into the group today. Lots and lots of challenges are being talked about in the workplace. What are some of the things we're hearing, Jen?
So quite a few people have been asking, how do I ask for training if my workload is less?
Yeah, we're either hearing that assistants are overwhelmed and never been busier than they are right now in the pandemic, contrasted with those who are not so busy. And that's in large part due to their executives not traveling so much anymore, right? Or not having the expenses to do anymore. Hey, Beth, welcome. Hey, Lynn, welcome. We're talking about asking for training dollars in this pandemic environment. I was speaking with one of our Be the Ultimate Assistant students today who is actively looking for new work and is interviewing with 3 different groups for a position. And one of them, she's pretty much decided that it's out of the running. And you know why? When she talked about how important ongoing professional development is to her, the response was, well, you're not going to be able to be paid for the time that you're going to take away, and we're not paying for the training. And her point of view is, you know what? The other 2 job opportunities, the money is competitive. I'd rather go, and they value training. They value education. The smartest executives and company leaders out there are the ones who see what's coming in this workplace, and that is to not take a short-sighted view towards training dollars. Historically, Training has not been something that assistants automatically got, but the future is going to be about annual training budgets of, we're hearing $5,000 on average in the United States. And it's not a question mark. It cannot be a question mark anymore in order to stay relevant. So Beth, you are talking about your concern is asking for money for training. For training is a little concerning. Well, I've created a business case for both the virtual training we're doing and the on-demand training. But I've always done a business case, and so do all of your favorite trainers out there, to create the justification for it. Clearly, if a company is hurting for money, it's not easy to ask for training dollars, but it's about the long view. It's about how do we protect the company for the long term. And there's just a ton of training out there right now, but it is for the most savvy assistants out there. It is about seeing what's coming, reading what your executives are reading, and staying up on what is going to be happening next. Are you rolling out Office 365? Are you rolling out Teams? Is it about really coming up to speed on those kinds of technologies? Or is it about getting investment for certification, for Microsoft Office certification? All of this not only makes you more valuable, relevant, marketable, but it also strengthens the company because and helps with money. It increases your productivity. This is not, lip service to the ROI. And think about it this way. If training enables you to save time in your week, time is money. If it's saving you time, it's math. It's calculating your hourly rate times how much time are you saving. That's ROI. And what about if you save your executive time? How much is his or her time worth? Multiply that figure if you can estimate how much do they, what is their hour valued at? And then you do the math on that. And if that is truly time that you're saving, it's a no-brainer. It's pennies. And the reality still is that companies pay so much more for leadership training than they do for assistant training. That's so who do we have? Oh my goodness.
So Benita is here also. Hi, Benita.
You know what? Talking about leadership training. Welcome. We're talking about challenges in the workplace. Would love to know your questions, your comments. What are you worried about today? And hi, Marion. Happy Hump Day to you too. Wednesday. I want to tell you about. What does Dusty have to say?
Good question. So good afternoon from Minneapolis. One of the challenges I'm hearing a lot about is video fatigue. We're connected remotely so much and jump from our work smartphone screen to our computer monitor to our TV screen to our personal smartphone screen, et cetera, in an effort to help our colleagues. My company's executives have begun starting meetings 10 minutes after the hour for an hour meeting. This allows a 10-minute opportunity to all get up and move away from a screen.
I love that. And to eat and to maybe go to the restroom. Dusty, thank you for that comment. Your comment also speaks to something else, which is that I was speaking to still another assistant who is putting in on average 15-hour days. And because it's so easy, isn't it, to just start work whenever your eyes open, and then there's no reason to leave the computer. It's really important, since this looks like it's going to be the way it is for a while, that we really do put our minds on boundaries and time limitations, and to share what those are with our teams, with our colleagues, and with really no apology or guilt. we have a new normal going on. And if we are to sustain into these next months and to come out healthy and seriously sane, we are going to have to put limits and boundaries. And, Dusty, I love that idea of, starting at 10 minutes after the hour to give yourself a chance to move around, because this is very real. I mean, I spend a lot of time in front of a camera all week.
Right.
Thankfully, when I work with Jen, she doesn't care if I have makeup on or anything.
Not at all. Not
oh my
at
gosh,
all.
we've got Michelle from Western Mass, and got Santa Barbara, California.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Right on, Bonnie. Good, Beth. Good. I want to share with you all. Jen, I was telling you about Jack Zenger last week.
Yes. Yeah. How'd that go?
So, all right. Some of you might have heard my Jack Zenger story. Jack Zenger he's now 88 years old. He's a leadership expert out of Utah. And Jack wrote an article for Harvard Business Review back in 2012 that blew my mind. He and his team did a poll of 7,000 leaders around the world, and they figured out the average age that a leader gets their very first training in managing people, in managing you. And the average age they figured out was 42. 42. So you don't need to be a math wizard to figure out that means that most leaders, your executives, are out of school more than 20 years before they get any training at all, speaking of training, to manage you. And then I follow Jack. You could follow Jack. He does free webinars. And I listened to him a couple of months ago, which resulted in a correspondence. And I'd heard him speak back in 2013. I did a Zoom call with Jack last week. And I was so excited to reconnect with him because he happens to be a leadership expert who really understands what's going on. And he was very curious to know what's going on in the assistant world. Well, one of the things he shared with me is that the average age is no longer 42. It's now 46. It's gone up by 4 years. So, I mean, they're not getting training. Your leaders are not getting training in managing people. They may be getting training in other things, but not managing people. And that's critical. In this workplace, what he told me is that they've done a new poll in this aftermath of the pandemic. And they polled the staff all around the world. And the leaders who got the highest marks excelled in two areas. The first area was that they were very results driven. But the second thing was that they were excellent at maintaining relationships and keeping the people skills strong, even over Zoom and remotely. And that's what made us both alarmed at the age 46 issue. So there's going to be much more on that. But as we move forward in this pandemic, training for assistance is going to be critical because your leaders are not getting training in a very big area, which is about training you. Mm-hmm. What other kinds of questions do we have, Jen?
Wow. So let's see. Where did it go? Taryn. It's a question. I've been doing training and feeling odd about sharing it. How do you suggest presenting it in a great way to your executive and train your executive in a way that doesn't insult them and also doesn't make them feel stupid or slow, especially when it comes to technology, which can take showing them a few times?
It's about what's in it for them. And Taryn, that's totally legitimate question. And it could be that you're showing your value when you choose your moment. And it's great if you can choose something specific, that something specific happens on a call or on a Zoom call, or you're on a Teams meeting, and there's a a tool that you know about, that who knows, maybe Vicki Evans taught or whatever, and that you can show, and you can privately say, hey, you know what? I learned a few things on the training that I took time out for last week. May I show you? It's respectful to ask first rather than, hey, I have the solution for you. I'm going to just show you right now. And we do need to protect people's egos.
Mhm.
I get that. And we have to tread slowly, because you know why? This pandemic has revealed all of our tech savviness in its deficit and its strengths. So it's impossible to hide. But if we ask first, and to your team, you could say, hey, you know what? Could I present for 10 minutes? I learned a few things that I think would really help you. It's one thing to reveal how smart we all are. It's another thing when we can do it and show someone something that's genuinely going to save them time. And do it in a way that, like, this is so cool, I can't wait to show you.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Vicki Evans, who I teach Be the Ultimate Assistant with, she lets me teach this one tip in PowerPoint, which I stumbled upon, and it blows everybody away. And I'm just going to tell you all what it is, and then you can try it in PowerPoint. And the thing is, you have to be in presenter mode. You have to in show mode, right? And if you've got your screen up, the slide is on the screen, and then you decide you just want to talk to the audience. You don't want them to be looking at the screen anymore, but you don't want to close out the presentation. You don't want to lose your place. All you have to do, and some of you probably know this, if you want the screen to go black, what do you do, Jen? What do you do?
Isn't it, is it window B?
No, it's just B.
Oh, just B. All right, I remember the B.
You're in show mode, and if you want it to go black, all you do is hit B. And then if you want to bring the presentation back up, B again. And then if you want it to go white, just W. And then if you want that to bring it back, it's W again. Right, Taryn? So
obvious.
So Dusty's got one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have?
Dusty's asking, do you have suggestions for how to keep relationships strong while working remotely? Yeah, we talked about that a bit last week.
Yeah, we can't lose the humanity, Dusty, and all of you. We cannot lose the humanity of this business we're in. And it's about, last night on the B2AO on-demand call, somebody was from Baltimore. Like, they just had a huge explosion there, and she lives 15 minutes from there. And, it's like, how are things going? How are you? Are you okay? Like, it seems like something is happening every day. We need to keep caring about the human beings behind these video screens. And it's like, are you tired today? Do you want to take 5 minutes and get a cup of coffee, kind of thing? We need to care about what people are going through. And it's like, do you need some more time? Would you rather not do this now? It's asking, try to be sensitive to the body language, to be, I think that's partly it. To do something social would be valuable, Dusty. We're all running so fast, theoretically, in our chairs here. To do a Thursday afternoon, maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks, a wine thing, or, just bring your favorite hat or show us the picture of your dog or cat or whatever it is.
Right.
These seemingly trivial activities, not trivial at all. It is, I wrote an article for LinkedIn about, is the webcam the new water cooler? We need the human touch in this business that we're in. That's what I think about all this. And and this is it. This is going to be it for a while. So it's not like, oh, we just have to function like this for a little bit and then we're going to go back. This is it.
Yep.
And I really believe that people are going to remember the way we behaved during this time. And so to be kind, to, to surprise, I don't know, whatever your budget is for your department, but if someone is going through a hard time, whether it's illness or someone passes away in the family, to send cookies, to do something kind really matters. And it doesn't have to cost money either, just a really supportive email to just say, hey, I know you're working really hard on that project. I just want to send you some support, and send them a fun emoji or send them, a GIF that's cute that that they're a fan of. I think there are all kinds of ways to keep this business human. And honestly, I think that's what assistants do really well. What do you think about that, Jen?
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That we're very supportive of each other.
I'm just looking at the chat.
Yeah. So Dusty, Lynn said something, I think Control L for the laser dot in PowerPoint.
Oh, love that.
Oh, I got to try that.
Yeah, totally have to do that.
Cool.
So I was I don't know if any of you were surprised. Marion is saying that I heard about this Kahoot.
Yeah.
On Friday afternoon chill meetings. They have fun and it's for free. Cool.
Okay.
I think poll the team to see if it's certainly worth a try. I think everybody is willing to give anything a try once, just to mix it up. This is just such a foreign way to function. I started to say that I was surprised a few weeks ago when I got this email from a CEO client, and in his email, he not only had his own full contact information, but he had the contact information for his assistant, executive assistant, and her name and full contact information. And I posted it on LinkedIn because honestly, I had never heard of it before. And within days, Jen was now in my email contact info, but my gosh, it got thousands of views. And I wonder, is it working? Are you using it? Those of you on the call, is that something that you think your executive would benefit from, having you as the assistant in the email signature?
Right.
I personally love it. And it's certainly
stuff.
What's that, Jen?
I said all those kinds of hacks and stuff, it's also, it's another time saver. Instead of somebody going to a website to look to how to contact.
Yeah.
If they send you an email, they already have your email.
Like the unspoken message there is that the executive is saying, you know what? Think twice. Call her or him. Don't send it to me. Angela has mentioned something, Jen.
Angela said we created a Kudo Board.
Oh.
You can add a message, photo, video clip, free version up to 10 messages, $5.99 for up to 100. It's fun to share kudos and farewell messages.
Oh, I love that. Kudos. Say something nice. Say something nice about people. This is a situation where, boy, and we all could use a kind word, something really nice about, someone coming through for us. Michelle is asking, can I go over my coaching packages? Do you have room for more new clients? Thank you, Michelle, for that question. Good, Beth. Beth's going to suggest the signature idea. Awesome. The pandemic has caused me to pivot in this Be the Ultimate Assistant training. My life was on airplanes until it all came to a screeching halt on March 12th. So the answer is yes, Michelle. I do coach and mentor people one-on-one. We do that over Zoom. But in addition to that, Vicki Evans and I are teaching our 2-day Be the Ultimate Assistant workshop We were going to do it in Houston. We are going to be virtual, though. We're going to do it over Zoom live September 17 and 18, and we still have room. So on my website, betheultimateassistant.com. The October class is sold out on October 8 and 9. However, on top of all of that, Vicki and I were always planning to do this, but we're taking Be the Ultimate Assistant on demand. And until Monday or until Sunday night, we priced it at the lowest it's going to be until Sunday night. And then it's going to be about 12 hours of content, both soft skills and hard skills. On Monday, the price goes up. So I certainly hope you will take advantage of that if that is of interest to you. The advantage, of course, of on-demand training is you get to do it in your own home. You could do it whenever you want. You could do it at your own pace. So, there's certainly, it really is about learning style and the way you want to learn at this point in your career, in this point in your life, depending on what the world situation is. We're planning our first live event in September of 2021. I feel like we don't dare book it any sooner than that, given what's going on with this virus. So, Michelle, I'd love to hear from you. That's great. I appreciate the question. And it would give me great pleasure to support any and all of you. I mean, that's the reason why we're doing the Facebook Live and why we're, the webinar series. My strongest instinct is we as a community need to stay together. Taryn Giacoletto, yeah, I know you're with us. You're a B2Aer. Oh, Jen, there's a question for you, babies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah. So how long did it take for me to feel like we really got started to get your groove together? Wow. So Bonnie, thank you, Taryn. So Bonnie and I have been working together for 7 years. And I think we get our group together happened pretty quickly, to be honest.
Yeah.
It really felt like we had some kind of like synergy when we met. But connecting, communicating and everything. I mean, I wasn't diving into tons and tons and tons of work immediately, but it was, we worked together literally next to each other.
Yeah. But I'm so happy to hear that you think we got it pretty quickly. I do too. And, I just want to share this one aspect of our interview process, Jen, because I didn't do this with the person who preceded you. I had an intern from a college.
Right.
I remember, here's the thing. When you're a small business, I know that we're two women working together. And if you've listened to me enough or read my stuff, I'm pretty obsessed with gender differences and gender issues and the ways in our profession, the ways in which women work together. And Dusty, I know you've had to adjust to all of these women, but I know you've done a great job of that. We want more men in this profession. We need more men in this profession, but there it is. That's our situation right now. And I said to Jen, I said, here's the thing. We can solve anything as long as you know that, and Jen, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but it was a way to kind of set the stage for constructive criticism, for constructive feedback. That, because you got to know, if you have a company like mine called Ultimate Assistant Training, Jen, there is a certain amount of pressure on that, huh?
Yes, definitely.
So, Jen needed to know about, typos and grammar, and that it matters. All of it matters a lot in this business. But I said, we can solve anything as long as we can talk it out. And that means I really want to know what you think. That if there's something that's on your mind, something that you think I'm doing wrong, if you have an opinion, I really want to know. That's not just words. Like, that I will never be angry or upset if you bring something to my attention that I may not want to hear. The thing that will make me upset is if you're thinking something and that I ought to know, and you don't tell me.
Share it. Yeah.
Remember that, Jen?
Yep. No, I remember that. I remember that. And the I want to say like the mutual kind of like looking out we have for each other that have,
That's true.
You know, oh, you know, this might be, you might want to do this, a tiny little, you know, tweaking things mutually.
Well, because you have your own business too. That's a really important point, that we have each other's backs. And
yes.
You know, I'm doing for Jen what Olympia Dukakis did for me. Most of you know I worked with the actress Olympia Dukakis for 25 years, and I had her back and she had mine. That it was a partnership. We used to say that we work with each other, that Jen doesn't work for me. Like, we don't say that, do we, Jen? We say Jen works with me. Yeah. And I think that's a really important distinction. And I have a feeling that's contributed to us being together for 7 years and going strong.
Absolutely.
Right? So did we get to people's questions?
So I had something, we were talking about hacks either. So I think, yeah, we did. We got to everybody's questions. Yeah. There was a hack earlier that somebody mentioned about.
We were on the call yesterday with our on-demand students. I didn't think, this is another thing I never knew. There's a machine out there. This particular assistant executive, the CEO, there's part of the company culture at their company is that every new hire receives a handwritten card signed by the CEO. And that would take him hours to do. The assistant found a machine called the Mac Writer, and it uses an actual pen in the machine. And it's programmed with the CEO's signature. And she demoed it on the thing. Now, it is an expensive piece of equipment. It for her, it ran, the top of the line one is about $8,500, so it's not inexpensive. But boy, you can calculate the ROI on that, right, Jen?
Absolutely.
You multiply. Thank you. You multiply what the executive's time is worth. It sounds like something screeching. So, oh my gosh, it's after 3:30. What do you want to end this up with, Jen?
So we have a few people that are joining us through YouTube. So if you are not and you're just on Facebook, please check out Bonnie's YouTube channel so that you can stay up to date, and then you can watch these as a replay. So if you missed any of these, also her podcasts are on YouTube. And a really easy way to find the YouTube channel, if you go to BonnieLo-Kramen.com, up at the tippy top of the website, there's all the icons for all her social media and everything, and YouTube is right up there.
So please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. The machine is called the Max Writer, MAX Writer, WRITER. It's so cool. I watched the demo on the thing, and it's like, wow, this is really, so you could, Gail, sounds like something you could use. Yeah, not an inexpensive piece of equipment, but really useful if you know, just about how much your time is worth. So there's 6 more days, 5 more days for the pre-sale for Be the Ultimate Assistant on Demand. These resources, on one hand, of course, it's about making money. Everybody has to pay bills. But really, I think, you know, if you're here, these resources are about providing tools, strategies, skills that will enable you to take your careers wherever you want it to go. We're in a whole new climate right now. Training is needed to stay relevant, to stay marketable, and we need the assistants of the world are in a really important seat to see what's going on about re-entry into this workplace. So we need to really take responsibility for how are we going to get there. And I certainly want to help you get there. I want to help you do it. So thank you all. We'll see you next Wednesday. Hopefully it will be sunny skies. Please stay safe. Please stay safe. And please wear your mask. I'm reaching for my mask. Please wear your mask. Please do not get this virus. We need to stay safe and healthy so that we can solve all the problems that are going to come along, right?
Absolutely. You got it. High five.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everybody. See you next week.